This is Kenny Clark, and this is Lombardi's Bar.
This is one of my favorite podcasts to do.
I'm just, blessed and thankful to be a part of this podcast. It's a great podcast. It's a great interview.
Maybe I know that you guys, obviously being the best Packers podcast that's out there.
I had Malort this weekend, so I'm not tasting anything.
Oh, good
He did.
God.
He did. That was fantastic.
Because they said, "Did you ever try Malort?" And I said, "No." And then they said, "Do you want to take a shot of Malort?" I said, "No," but I did.
Wait, who said
It's called
Peer
Todd.
pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I tried to get in a high honors English class once, and they called my parents and were like, "Hey, just tell him he can't do it."
It shows. It really shows.
I hate you guys so much.
I'm going to throw these two guys into the screen so that if I die, they can carry on the legacy of crap that is this show.
Hoy. Welcome in, everyone, to another edition of Lombardi's Bar. Thank you for joining us today. Man, really sucks that we didn't get to do a show last week, because that would have been a hell of a lot more fun than what we have to talk about this week. Emma, thank you for stopping by. Welcome in. I'm your bartender, Dan Connick. Appreciate you joining us today. Just like how the Packers have to play without Tucker Kraft the rest of the season, we may be playing without Jimmy Christensen for the foreseeable future. Don't know. He's living in some fantasy world where Wi-Fi doesn't exist. Yes, Emma, I'm ready to let's just forget Carolina even happened. I would love to talk more about the world I lived in the week after beating Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers on Sunday Night Football. But unfortunately, we do have to talk about Carolina. With me today, as always, it's Todd Varney. Todd, how are you doing?
You're bringing the energy tonight, dude. You're full of it. You came in backstage real hot, and I think your emotions were riding such a peak of fighting with a toddler that you're now just in that recovery phase where you're like, what, a tornado just happened. Now what do I do? Like, the adrenaline's coming down. You've lifted the car off of the children. Everyone, and now you're just drained. So shout out to Howie.
Brother, I've been drained all week. That Carolina game
pause.
Took it out of me. Yeah. I know, Todd, like that. I know there was the episode we did. Was it last year when we lost to Tommy DeVito? Was that last year?
2 years.
2 years ago. 2 years ago.
And
I called that the worst loss in the Matt LaFleur era. I think think the Tommy DeVito one is still worse?
Carolina is a better football team than the Giants were that year. They have Bryce Young's been putting it together. Like, this isn't Tommy DeVito. This isn't a third string quarterback that no one's ever heard of coming in and beating us with no one else on the team, right? Like, Carolina's got, and I'm not saying that by any means this was a good loss, but Carolina's not nearly as bad as that Giants team was.
But what I would counter with is this loss was at home. It was the biggest upset in Packers history in terms of being favored by the spread. And yeah, I understand Bryce Young is not Tommy DeVito, but at the same time, Bryce Young late in the fourth quarter had only 9 completions and like 70 yards, and the Panthers were in control basically of the game. Or they were controlled. They were dictating the pace of play. And didn't that Tommy DeVito team have Saquon Barkley still? That was the last year of Saquon Barkley, right?
I feel like he didn't play, did he? Matt, look that up.
Matt, look that up.
Or somebody in the chat that's smarter than us.
I just
Even
it
if
was.
I don't think there were they didn't have targets on that. They didn't have receiver. There was nothing on that team besides Saquon if he played in that game. But it was. I mean, this was a gross loss. I'll give you that. And at home, and again, Bryce Young, like Jay said, putting it together, he only had 100 yards. That's true. But he's been playing much better as of recently. Like this wasn't their first one of the year, right? Like
Right.
they're above 500. They've won games in the NFL. Held Saquon to 86. That's 100 less than he's going to have on Monday night. So it's a bad loss. It was gross to watch. And then you lose Tucker Kraft on top of it. It's just a gross game all around. And it's you want to flush the tape as a fan, as somebody. I would hope inside the building there's a lot of tape being watched from that because there's a lot to learn from the tape on that game.
You're right. I'm at the point, and I am by no means calling for jobs or anything like that, but how many more times do these absolute clunkers of a game need to happen before they learn whatever lesson they need to learn from how badly the game is managed or play called or whatever? It's like I'm sick of watching this offense run themselves face first into a brick wall, after especially, and it always seems to be after a week or two where it looks like they are fucking world beaters.
They come out one week and show you like, we've got all these new toys, we know how to use them, this is going to be fun. And then it's like Matt goes, okay, they're going to scout on what we did this week. So next week, totally different game plan. Nothing but screen passes to our RB3. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, I don't know. It drove me up a wall. We'll talk about it here as we go through buy around, pay the tab here. Yeah, there's plenty to discuss coming out of this. I mean, the injuries one, like if you want to look at the games side by side, and you say that if you want to say like these games are 1A and 1B, the Giants game and this game in terms of bad losses, I think if you talk about that and you talk about which one was worse, I think maybe you give it. I would say maybe you give the edge here because of what happened with Tucker Kraft. Because even after the Giants game, like I don't think there was anything massive that came out of that. This is season changing for the team. I mean, I'll jump into it here with my buy around because it kind of flows into that. I'd like to buy around for Packers fans. Because drink up, guys. I don't think this is a Super Bowl winning team anymore. I can't say it. Even when Tucker Kraft was healthy, this offense is so inconsistent about when they come out and when they can get things going. If you are, I just imagine if you are a Super Bowl winning caliber team, your offense shouldn't have to have the right conditions to get going and get into gear. Other offenses don't do that, or at least from my perspective, when I watch other teams, I don't see that. And we see it just too much with this team. And then on top of that, this week, the run defense absolutely exposed, which
against a bad and banged up offensive line.
Yeah, Rico Dowdle's not a bad running back, but it's not. This isn't one of the top running teams in the country. Like this is like you said. This was a offensive line that was already banged up, got banged up in the game, and they dictated the line of scrimmage against a front line that is basically that's your starting 7 out there. Lucas Van Ness is maybe the one outlier there. Everyone else on that front line, that is supposed to be your starting 7. And they couldn't do anything against a terrible offensive line. This team they're not ready to compete for a Super Bowl this year. And after losing Tucker Kraft, I don't think they have it to make it.
Yeah, Jay brought up a good point. Like, is the Matt LaFleur offense getting stale? And what I feel like I'm seeing is they don't go out and like the game plan doesn't appear to be here's what we do well and we're going to do that. It appears to be here's where we see opportunities in the defense that they're not as strong and we're going to try and expose that. And it's like, you're good enough. You've got the players on offense. We've seen you have the ability to scheme and to make an exciting offense flow. And like, instead he just goes out there and is like, what was the stat? Like 17 of the passes or 80% of the passes were behind the line or within 2 yards. Like, you've got Matthew Golden, you've got Christian Watson's back. Like, stretch the field. What are you doing? And instead, it's just the little dinks here and there, and there's just nothing to the offense. There's no rhythm, and I think they're leading the league in first yard rush attempts, or percentage of rushes on first down, and they're also, I saw a couple weeks ago, like 60% of the time, if they are like 2nd and 6 or more, they're running the ball. And you're like, what are we doing? What's happening there? Like, just insane to see. It reminds me of the first 2 weeks where it was like everything was great. The offense seemed to be humming. The defense was on fire. And then they played Cleveland and just were miserable. And then the offense against Dallas looked great. And then had a bye. Things cooled off. Looked really good last week against Pittsburgh. And then this week, you can't figure it out. Like, it's mind-boggling how this team can be so up or down.
This was a stat that I think came from Ben Solak. That determines, or it was average air yards per pass attempt based on the spread under Matt LaFleur. When with Jordan Love in the Jordan Love era, when the Packers are favored by 7.5 points or more, the average air yards per pass is 6.5. When they're an underdog by 7.5 or more, it's 9.8. And then if you look at it again with Aaron Rodgers, it doesn't matter what the spread is. It's statistically the same. So it's like when he's when they're favored in these games, these big games, it's like he wants to play safe ball and not, but then when you let him loose and go up and just ball against a team that you are an underdog against, it doesn't make any sense. And that's I don't know if it's that the Matt LaFleur offense has gotten stale, because to me, stale means that other teams are picking up on it more. This just seems more like Matt LaFleur, for some reason, doesn't trust Jordan Love. When all the statistics point to letting Jordan Love air the ball out works, but for some reason he doesn't trust the offense the same
So
way.
I know it was talked about a lot when LaFleur and Rodgers were together. It almost felt like just a foregone conclusion that Rodgers was changing a lot of the calls at the line. Like we all just kind of accepted that LaFleur's calling the plays, and most of the time Rodgers is just changing out and running what he wants to. How much do we think this is LaFleur's offense, LaFleur's calls, or is it Jordan changing calls, changing coverage, or looking at the coverage, changing routes, or opting to take the checkdowns, opting not to push it, or being conservative where Rodgers might have made that throw with more confidence in his arm and went, I can get it in there. It's Devontae, right? Remember that some of those catches that Devontae made with the late hands, like we had Jordy, so like he had guys like that he had time to build trust with. Who's out there that Jordan's really had time to build trust with? I mean, you've got Watson and Dobbs. Dobbs was hurt quite a bit last year. He missed quite a few games. Watson, we know the story on him. Like Kraft's really the only guy that's consistently been out there with him. What do we see now that he's not? And is it, again, going back to my original point here, is this on Jordan not trusting Jordan? Or is this Matt LaFleur keeping training wheels on and calling conservative plays?
I mean, I lean towards the latter, the Matt LaFleur not trusted, because like you said, like all those bubble screens and those things like that, I just don't like Jay said there, like it's Jordan Love. If he sees something down the field, I disagree that the Watson throw was pure luck. That's Jordan Love trusting his arm. Jordan wants to throw the ball deep. He wants to get stuff deep. I think
as long as it's not to Matthew Golden.
apparently, like I said, I just think it's yeah. We'll talk more in depth. I want to hear what your by the round is though.
It's me for once again being right. As everybody can see, there's only two of us here because the third one is a coward who's scared to show his face because, as I have said time and time again, Jimmy, do not buy another fucking jersey. You have a jersey curse. It will never be broken. Do not do it. And what jersey, Dan, has Jimmy always said was responsible for breaking the curse?
That would be Tucker Kraft.
Would you say that curse is still fucking broken?
Hell fucking no.
Okay. So Jimmy's scared to show up. He will barely text anything except an excuse of why he can't be here. Trying to tell us that the internet doesn't work, and all he's showing us as proof is that he's out of data on his cell phone plan.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you've been supposedly on vacation for 2 weeks. Sounds like he's going to a different condo next week, so he's doing a 3-week vacation. Like he's so far gone. He doesn't even know what lies he's making up at this point. All we know is that he's an idiot. The jersey curse lives. This is 100% his fault, and he should never buy another jersey again, which I'm pretty sure he's already told us he's bought more jerseys of people on the team.
He has.
Yeah.
He has. So
buy around to me for always being right. Matt, put up the graphic.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. There we go. Yeah. I like what
Thanks,
True North says.
Appreciate
Let's recall called Jimmy. Yeah.
Pathetic.
And Matt's right.
And then not being able to show up today to face the music that he knows and if you think I'm going to forget about this, I'm not.
We'll enact a tariff on Jimmy buying these jerseys. If nothing else, we'll charge him double for it. Yeah, I mean, let's keep it going here. Let's pay the tab. I want to hear your pay the tab.
Yeah, a pretty obvious one. And for people who may not know, ESPN is a pile of shit. They recently launched their own app that they're trying to get us to pay $30 a month for a couple of games. For somebody like me, who I don't really watch other sports in the winter, I watch football, and as we know, primarily only the Packers. I will not be watching the game on Monday night. I'm a YouTube TV subscriber, was a YouTube TV subscriber, strictly to watch Packers. I don't watch other TV. And so now that they don't have a deal to carry Disney, ABC, ESPN, I'm not going to be able to watch the Packer game on Monday night. I'm going to take a stance and not watch it unless somebody has a good pirate stream, in which case DMs are always open. But it's just, I think ESPN's going to find out real quick that people really don't give a shit about them. And there's a lot of degenerates that are going to be willing to pay the $30 a month because I'm sure they've got a bunch of NBA, a bunch of college basketball. But what do you do? I appreciate that, Jay. I'm going to pass because I'm not watching it on one of their platforms. It's awful and it's stupid. And it's like, we just want to watch sports. And this is the downside of, we always said for years and years and years during the cable era, I just want to pick the channels that I want. I just want a la carte. And this is the result of the a la carte that we wanted. Is now every network, every company, every org has their own streaming platform. And at the end of the day, we're all paying way more than we need to be. And I just want to watch a couple football games. That's it.
Yeah. I mean, look, you're not gonna get a bigger supporter of that than me. I mean, listen, on my full-time job, I work for a broadcast television company, handle a lot of things around broadcast deals for RSN things on broadcast TV. I'm a huge proponent of more games and more sports being put on free over-the-air broadcast TV, because I think it's, you're right to bash ESPN, the other networks, NBC, Peacock, Paramount Plus, and they put all this programming behind paywalls now. And they're going to all find out, I think, very soon that, some of these, a lot of fans that were watching on regular linear television are not going to make this jump automatically just because you've put it behind a paywall now. I think they're going to learn a lesson really quick. And I think even more importantly, 10, 15 years from now, I think these leagues, like especially...
it's cute that you think any of this shit's going to be happening in 10 to 15 years.
That we're going to...
And I'm not just talking sports specifically.
Just in general, people.
Just the world in general.
Yeah. But I think these leagues, especially leagues like MLB, whose fan base is aging and getting older and older, the younger generations are not watching sports. They're not interacting with sports the same way. You are losing your fan base by putting these games, putting stuff behind paywalls, getting it away from eyeballs that can watch it casually. And I think these leagues are going to start to suffer when young kids don't care about watching sports on TV as much.
They all looked at the MLB model and how terrible that is and went, God damn, Rob Manfred's onto something. Let's really alienate our viewers. The NBA, I saw a graphic. It's like a different package every night of the week. Like, how many subscriptions do you have to have if you're an NBA junkie that wants to watch games nightly? If in the wintertime your thing is putting on a game in the background, like,
Right.
How many packages do you have to have? It's
Yeah,
insane.
at least 3 I can think of off the top of my head, and yeah, it's stupid. It is. It's like I said, I think we're in for a rude awakening. I think this ESPN this ESPN deal is a harbinger for things to change here soon, hopefully.
And I hope more people follow suit and skip one game. Skip one game. Pirate it, figure out another way to watch it. Do not pay ESPN for their bullshit app. From the handful of people I know that have it, shout out degenerates. It's not a good app. It's not
No, I've
great.
heard it's terrible, yeah.
Yeah, so like at least they suck at that too.
I will shout out just, this is not a paid advertisement, but if you are somebody looking to cut cord and you want to still have access to your broadcast TV signal, get yourself a Tableau TV device, hooks up to your over-the-air antenna, converts your over-the-air antenna into a digital stream. I can stream all of my local broadcast TV onto my Roku. I can DVR anything off of there. I can watch all of my local NFL games for free. It's pretty good. It's spelled Tablo.
I was going to say,
Matt,
I think that's the wrong Tableau.
it's the wrong Tableau.
I don't think that the data collection business is getting into. But Matt, very quick on the sticks back there.
Good job, Matt.
Impressed with that.
I mean, I'll round out Pay the Tab here with mine. It just goes straight to Matt LaFleur again. I think up and down, we talked about not trusting Jordan Love, the offense getting stale, whatever. But multiple outlets, especially have done he doesn't seem prepared in game to make changes. The 4th and 8 call this week, and then the 4th and 2 call last week or 2 weeks ago against Arizona. He came out and basically said he wasn't aware of the time of the game, the distance, or whatever to go out and make the call. Those are simple things as a coach, like knowing where you're at in the game. Situational awareness should be one of the things that you kind of hang your hat on of, like, okay, whether or not the play call was right or the decision was right, at least in your head, in this situation, if we're at this point in the game, if this is the down and distance, whatever the score is, I'm going to make this decision based off of the data and the information that I know. And to come out and say basically you weren't paying attention or you didn't realize it in the time, that very well could be it. He's leaning too much on Bisaccia to do these things or whatever. It just seems like, particularly in the last handful of years, it's gotten so much worse. And the excellent play calling can only cover up so many glaring mistakes until changes need to happen.
Well, and I think like a lot of the second guessing, especially on 4th downs, comes with the inconsistency of the kicking game, which again, hey, Rich, what the fuck are you doing? Absolutely garbage. And I mean, Jay brought up what are you doing? You're ed policy. You've got a big decision to make. You don't want a coach and a GM on a 1-year plan or a 1-year deal on the final year of their deal, which is next year, which means you're extending or you're firing after this season. I think Brian Gutekunst has earned his next contract.
I think so.
Not just in the Parsons deal, not just going after Matthew Golden. I mean, I know those were like 2 big hype moves, but I think he showed, hey, if you're telling me that an extension's on the line, my job's on the line, I'm swinging. I'm taking the risk and I'm swinging. And what we've seen from LaFleur has been pretty much the opposite of let me stand pat. It's going to be a competitive division. It's going to be a competitive conference. Probably 11 wins. You look in, you pencil in, find where your 11 wins come from, and you go, okay, that's what we need to make the playoffs. And if I make the playoffs, I'm safe. And I don't know if that's true.
Yeah.
So what are you doing, Dan? Are you at this point, gun to your kneecap?
Here, if you're telling me today, right now, I lean towards extending him at this point, but like Jay puts out there, the real meat of the schedule hasn't even started yet. It starts on Monday. That's basically when the season starts, is on Monday. And if you go out there and because right now they've played one division game, which they won against the Lions. Yeah, great. That's a great win at home. Awesome. It's still entirely possible they go out there and have the same division record that they did last year, where they go 1-5 in the division. Because it's all coming up. You've got the Eagles coming in this week, which I don't think any of us feel good about. You've got the Lions looming on Thanksgiving for their big revenge game at home on their Super Bowl every fucking year. And you've got the Ravens who are starting to make a comeback and just in time for a playoff push at the end of the year. And then you've got 4 games against 2 division opponents you haven't seen yet and just are continuing to get better as the season goes on. So, yeah, I don't feel great about the rest of the season. And yeah, if you finish 9-8-1, I agree. I think he's gone. If you come out and go 500 in the division, finish second in the division, I don't think you can keep him.
I mean, I don't think you're wrong. It's hard because it sounds like that's a really tough schedule ahead, but let's also remember, like, we've seen this team play really good. And I think they can go out and stand toe to toe with anyone, depending on what the game plan looks like.
Sure.
Talent wise, they're there. Like, they've got all the talent in the world to stand up with anybody and to play with anybody. And it just seems like they consistently get out schemed. And I think, barring injuries, and while losing Tucker Kraft is big, that's not an injury that a coach goes, we were on the right track, and then our tight end got hurt.
Right.
Like, there are very few tight ends in the history of the league that have had that kind of an impact that a coach could legitimately go, hey, without him, what do we have? Right. So, like, you've got enough games that we don't have Tucker Kraft. We have to figure out how to do this. And I think if Matt figures out a way to make this team competitive, to make the season interesting and make the playoffs, obviously it's definitely back. But outside of that, I mean, I think there's a world in which, I mean, if they slide through the back door into the playoffs, I think he could still get fired. Which is a bummer, because I really like him, and I think he's a good coach, and I think he will get a head coaching job in about 30 minutes if he's let go. And I don't know I don't know that there's a better option out there at this point.
But here's what I because I had this conversation with somebody earlier this week, because again, I'm not there yet of moving on from him, but I do find issue with the idea of um you know, who are you going to get that's better, or looking at his track record and his he's had more wins by a head coach and any other Packer coach in history, yada yada yada, whatever. That's all well and good, but we're looking at right now. What are the results right now? And my analogy was Matt Stafford in Detroit. I had Lions fans. I had a couple really good friends that were Lions fans. That you can't move on from Matt Stafford. He's the best quarterback the Lions have ever had. He holds all of these records. He capped their performance, though, to a certain extent. Matt Stafford is a really good quarterback, but he wasn't a all-time great quarterback. Something about Matt Stafford, there was a cap there. You can't just say, well, he does really good in the past, and he's got so many wins. If what he's doing now is hampering this team, and like Ed Policy said, we're in the business of competing for championships now. You can't just sit back and hope that what's not been working, or I shouldn't say what's not been working, but the problems that have been cropping up over the last 5 years will suddenly just get fixed because he, did great. And yeah, Stafford left and won a Super Bowl because it was a different situation. They flipped to a different situation. He and Jared Goff got put into better situations each. So to say that there's not another option out there, there's going to be other options out there. There's other coaches out there. No one knew who the fuck Jeff Hafley was before he got hired on here. So there's people out there that can coach NFL teams and can do the job.
Well, and I'm pretty confident that Ed Policy is not going to give Matt LaFleur a contract extension based on what Matt did for Mark Murphy.
Right. There. Yeah, exactly.
Like,
there you go.
It's we all know how these guys operate. And regardless of how nice of a guy you are, how great you are at your job, at the end of the day, you don't get into this position without an ego, and you want your guys to be the ones making the calls. And while Ed was probably involved in a lot of the decision making in some of these hires, at the end of the day, he's not going to continue to let somebody coast in a job that Mark Murphy hired for.
Yeah, exactly. Let's look ahead here to I mean, the Boston Bruins had literally the best all-time record in a season, flamed out in the first round of the playoffs. The next season, they fired their coach within a month of the start of the season. Doesn't matter. If you're not performing,
even hockey's different.
Performing.
Those guys are psychos.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, we've alluded to the Eagles coming in here with their what's on tap now. I mean, the only good thing is that the Eagles seem like they're just about as inconsistent this year as the Packers seem to be.
Yeah.
Not their lows aren't as low, but they've got
some lows.
They've been pretty low at times.
Yeah.
But I mean, as much as we're bemoaning everything going on, this is a game that you should be able to come in, and this is the type of game that Matt LaFleur wins. I strangely feel better about playing against a better team in the Eagles than I do going against the Browns or fucking Panthers, just because of the way Matt LaFleur coaches. So hopefully bounce back against the Eagles, but after what Rico Dowdle did,
because we were real high going to Dallas, that After that Cleveland game, we were going to
Yeah.
see him come out with fire and they were going to be ready to go. And that turned out to be wrong. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not as confident in this one.
No, trust me, I'm not.
Until they give me a reason to believe
Exactly.
in them having the ability to do this. I don't know.
Yeah. You want to jump into some bar bets?
Yeah, let's
Wrapping
do it.
up
Get
here.
the hell out of here.
All right. Well, yes, the Broncos, don't take them lightly. Yeah. All right. Let's start with this. We have to get it out of here. The tush pushes. I'm putting this at over under 2.5 tush pushes. Todd, where do you see it?
5 Bakhtiaris. I'm going to take the over. I don't watch any of their games. The little bit that I listen to NFL talk, I think they're averaging more than that. It sounds like they are. I'm going to take the over.
Yeah, I mean, there's a part of me that wants to take the under just because I feel like the Eagles might not find themselves in tush push situations that much against what we've seen from the defense this past week. But yeah, it's hard not to take the over on this because it feels like it happens 4 or 5 times a game. So yeah, I'll take the over. I'll go 4 Bakhtiaris over on it. Luke Musgrave, obviously now tight end 1 by default. 40. I have over under 40 receiving yards. I think a lot of this depends on what happens with Matthew Golden. It sounds like he's truly a day-to-day kind of situation at this point, but I don't know, man. It's even in offensive sets when Musgrave was the tight end out there with like a Ben Sims or a Fitzpatrick, Musgrave didn't get looks, didn't get, things. So, I mean, there's a part of me that wants to just take the under on this. I think I might. I'm going to go 3 Bakhtiaris under 40 receiving.
I'm going to ride with you, and I'm going to say 5 Bakhtiaris under, simply because a lot of Tucker Kraft's yards were yak. It's not like they were launching the ball 30, 40 yards downfield to him. A lot of that is yak. We all know the lore that is Luke Musgrave's feet and their ability to run while his hands are holding a ball. So I'm going to say under.
Yeah. Yeah, day-to-day, physically and emotionally. Saquon Barkley. I mean, I'm just picking a number at random here, 95 rushing yards, but fuck, you could put this at 120 and I still might be tempted to take the over on this. But the thing is, the pass defense has been so poor. You've got AJ Brown, you've got Devontae Smith. How much will Saquon be relied on in just a pure rushing game aspect? I don't know. I'm still gonna go over. I'll go. Did I go 4 last time? No, I went 3 last time. I don't want to do that again. Fuck. I'll go 5. 5 Bakhtiaris over because I think we're gonna see a classic Saquon long run at some point. I think against this defense.
I'm going to go 5 Bakhtiaris under for the only reason I'm currently getting smoked in this. I got to find some spots to make up ground. I've under, and maybe somehow they don't use him. I don't know. They had that game earlier this year where they gave him like 9 touches.
I mean, that's true.
I think he still had like 86 yards.
Yeah. We have the Bo Melton pass breakup on here, but I think it's even more of a question now. Dude's out here getting snaps at wide receiver again. That's how low that's how low we are right now. Is the wide receiver who couldn't get on the field, so he moved over to defense and couldn't get on the field on defense, is now back on the offense getting snaps back on offense. This
Yeah.
Bo Melton is the canary in the coal mine for this team. It's not great, Bob.
No. No. 5 Bakhtiaris, no pass breakups. This year.
Yeah. 5 Bakhtiaris, no. Yeah.
For him or probably for Nate Hobbs either.
Well, I mean, yeah, Nate Hobbs. There's a good chance we don't see him until after Thanksgiving. It sounds like it sounds like it's multiple week. Todd, let me. We didn't talk about this yet, so I guess maybe this is a good way to end this here. The Asante Samuel Jr. smoke
Coming to town tomorrow.
Yeah. What do you think? What do you make about it? Anything? Fuck yeah! Yeah.
Is he a warm body? if he makes it to Green Bay, you cannot let him leave.
I mean, I agree. I'm curious. I'm curious how his camp is going to treat this. I mean, because he's basically he's a high school senior, basically at this point, where he's going on campus tours now across the league. It's after the trade deadline. The price tag has only gone up for cornerbacks, as we saw. So it is a seller's market for Asante Samuel. So I mean, I agree with you. I would pull a what was the LA Clippers guy that the team like basically barricaded him in the house so he couldn't sign his free agent deal somewhere else. Oh my God. DeAndre Jordan, I think was his name. Literally his teammates like basically kept him in the house so that he couldn't talk to his agent and sign with a different team and kept him on the Clippers. If you need to do that with Asante Samuel, yeah, do that. All right. Well, that will do it for us. Hopefully next week. Yeah, because we didn't have Jimmy's ass in here mucking things up. That's why. But we will be back next week. Hopefully Jimmy gets his Wi-Fi shit sorted out. Follow us at Lombardi's Bar.
I don't know if I want all he's going to do if he has Wi-Fi is buy more jerseys.
That's true. Maybe, maybe we just ship him off into an island somewhere. Keep him separated from technology for 6 months of the year. We'll be back again, like I said, next week, same time, place right here. If you have not subscribed or anything on the YouTube side, please make sure you do that so you get notified when we go live over on the YouTube side. And I said on Twitter as well. Todd and I, socials right there in the little bubbles on Twitter and Blue Sky for myself. For producer Matt, behind the scenes, helping us out. For everybody in the chat, helping us work through everything here. For Todd, I'm your bartender, Dan, saying cheers. And as always, go Pack, go.